The people say they can
The
hear me
people
with
say they
Tom
can
Chew,
hear me
something
with
up
Tom
Chew.
Chew, something up Chew.
He knows I'm talking shit,
He knows
y'all.
I'm talking shit, y'all. Hello?
There we go.
I can hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Y'all like my hospital cup?
Yeah. All right. So, wait, what you want to hear? I need some. What kind of vibe should I go
What
with?
was you playing at first? Cause it sounded like Eminem, but Drake was rapping it.
It was, yes, Chicago freestyle. He
Yeah.
has Drake.
He always sampling somebody. He
He
always sampling
did.
somebody.
He sampled Superman. It was so. I love
And that used to be
the
my favorite
song.
little song. I didn't know what he was
Yeah.
talking about, but
That's that's my song. I be in there really. I can rap that whole thing. I love
oh
Superman.
God.
I think it's so good.
Oh
It's
God.
so good.
Bitch,
How
they
you?
call me the Superman. Never let him want
Ah! I'm done with you. You look good. You look bright. You look happy. And just like you got a little glow about you.
You said that the last time you saw me. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely like
Pregnant. No, I'm just kidding.
then Jesus turned to Peter and said the devil is a lie.
oh. Oh. But I'm glad.
No, that's
Yeah.
wrong. Then Jesus turned to Peter and said, Satan, get behind me.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I
couldn't even check
misquoted
you on it
him.
because I don't even know. It's sad to say. I should know the word better than I do. And I don't.
And you're the Christian. Like, you're the...
Am I the Christian? Or, I say more the spiritual. I'm more
yeah.
spiritual. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
definitely do not fall in line with Christian belief. Question belief.
Question.
But no, I'm glad to see you look good based on like everything that's been going on with your health and everything. Like, how are you feeling? I mean, obviously share what you want to share, but like, what's been going on with you?
Right. Okay. So for y'all that don't know, or like whatever, I had an abscess, inside my body. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I had an abscess actually in my ass, y'all. Um,
That would be real.
it's actually called an anorectal abscess, so it's like near, not like necessarily in my rectum, but like near it, but also inside my body. Um, I have not been having anal sex, first of all, because I know that's gonna be the first thing people say, like, "Oh, she been taking dirty dick in her booty." No, not me. They might slide their tongue across there every once in a while, but that don't. But that don't happen. Um, from what they, I just had to let y'all know. I don't be doing that. But anyway, from what they're saying, because of other symptoms that I'm having, it's sounding precancerous, like I may have colon cancer. So I've been dealing with that. I had surgery last week to have the mass removed. I'm getting a colonoscopy on Thursday to make sure I don't have colon cancer.
That still makes me very like when you say that, it just kind of like it like makes my heart a little like I don't know. I don't like knowing that that's going on with you. I don't.
It is what it
I know.
is.
I know. I know.
That's y'all need to listen to Thundercat, y'all. Y'all need to listen to that new album. It's good.
Should I put it on for you? Should I put that on as a background? All right.
Yes.
Hold on. I got my little Apple TV. Let me.
He got a
What's
remote.
what's
He
what's
got
the
more,
name?
look. He got a remote control.
Keep going, please.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not scared. I'm not nervous. Like I'm I don't know. Like if they do find out that I do have cancer, like I'm not scared. I mean, I don't know. I know I'm 22, about to be 23 next month, but like I done been through so much. Like that shit don't scare me. I just don't want to be bald headed.
Shut up. That's it.
Yeah.
If you have to shave your head, I'll shave my head.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I would appreciate that.
Ah, you didn't even fight that.
No, because I thought about freshman year when you went bald. You looked really good.
Did I?
Yeah, you looked really good.
Girl, thank you. Okay. Well, if I
Yeah.
can play, if I can rock it, then I'll be
But
down.
I don't think I can rock it. That's how come I really hope it don't happen.
It won't.
I
It
got a
won't.
fat ass head. I'll be looking like a little egg. I don't want to do that.
So you're in Texas. How is that?
Mm-hmm.
How is that? Because y'all reopened, kind of, or all the
And
way.
these niggas don't know how to act.
What's good? Is
No,
it
for
back?
real.
Does it seem like it's back to normal, like out in the street?
No, it's not. It's not. People still not really out and about like that. Like it's definitely more
Good.
people out, but not really. Like it's not like it's not a whole bunch of people out. And like the police are just like I said, I live in a black neighborhood, and so the police is just like really on people's ass. I think that it's definitely very racist because like Fort Worth Police Department is like notoriously very racist. And I don't think I know for sure that they're not giving this same energy to the white folks that live on the west side.
No, not at all.
So,
Are you working right now?
this week is my sick week.
Okay.
I started a new job at Amazon, working from home. I know, like I shouldn't be supporting Bezos,
Why not?
but he cutting that check for us. Okay, um, I get to make 17 an hour while I'm sitting at the house. So
Damn. Like more than my ass do. Take the money, yes. Take the money for sure. You can work from home, I guess. I mean, yeah, so you work from
yeah,
home, right?
I for customer service. I do. I'm the customer service queen. I'm the customer service queen. I put that headset on and get you together. Okay.
I need to call Amazon just to see if I get you.
Just you should. I work 1:30 a.m. or is it no? It's 3:30 a.m. until noon. Yeah, until noon Pacific Standard Time. So if you called in the morning, you could possibly give me.
And I'm gonna try to be like, I'm gonna try to disguise my voice. Man, what is this shit?
And what are you referring to?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't. That's why I asked you what it was.
You getting snippy with me? You sound like one of those blacks. You
Oh,
sound like one of those.
I am. Would you like to speak with another representative?
I am. I love you so much. Oh my goodness. So I've learned in the past that I tend to I start talking and we chop it up like we ain't never talked before, even though we talked shit a couple minutes ago. And so then we like leave out the letter. I feel like we don't get to stay focused on the letter as much. So
Right.
you
Move
know,
it on.
you down to get down to the dirty?
Yeah,
The
sure.
dirty. I'm from the dirty.
Hey.
I like, you know what song I like? The Do Rag. It's like,
baby girl, do you like the way I do it right?
yeah.
Am I doing it right?
That's
Do
it.
you like the way that I flow? He needs to
Remember
get
when
me
you
in the
said you
studio.
couldn't sing no more? You had your voice was gone. I think that's a lie. Clearly, it's coming. It's coming back. I don't know when it left, but I still like whenever you go when you know how people sing and they're like singing to themselves. Whenever you go
Yes.
into it, I just get quiet and I start to listen. And I'm like, hopefully she'll sing more and more. Milan will grace our presence on the stage soon. We're not gonna talk about those things, but you know, she's about to come back, y'all.
She's coming back.
She's coming back.
She's coming back.
Let's get on this letter. You ready?
Yup.
All right. So, turn this down. So he said, "Oh, girl, I thought you had a cup of tea in your cup." I was like,
It's
"Okay."
water.
All right, dear Sam, titled "Forgiveness." Forgiving someone who has deeply hurt and betrayed you is a test that God seems to give all of us throughout our life. It's been a year since I was in a relationship that I walked away from my breaking point was when I found him exchanging text messages with another woman in his phone.
Mm.
The conversations that I read and pictures I saw broke my heart, and I felt betrayed, embarrassed, angry, and jealous. I cried for weeks. I couldn't wrap my mind around how someone I shared my life and my family with for 4 years could hurt me so deeply. I'm a strong
Get used to
believer.
it.
Right, really though, that is life. I am a strong believer of karma, and I couldn't help but be real with myself because I know I could have been a better girlfriend to him, and then maybe he wouldn't have felt like he had to cheat on me.
Mm.
I should not have ignored all the red flags. Instead, I fucked around and cheated on him. I must say, karma got me back 10 times harder. In the text messages, the part I couldn't get over is that he literally paid a woman cash to please him in the most disturbing ways that you couldn't even imagine. I was completely crushed that he would do something like that to me. We broke up 2 years after this incident happened, and it's been a year. And up until this day, we still keep an open line of communication. It's not always pleasant, but we feel like being in each other's lives as friends, and that it's better than not being in each other's lives at all. Some may say this is toxic, but let's not overuse that word. I feel bad because I know deep down that we both are trying to. I feel bad because I know that deep down we are both trying to find it in our hearts to forgive each other. It's a painful feeling knowing the level of betrayal that we put each other through. Before I met him, I had gotten out of a relationship that traumatized me. I trusted a man with my life and he broke me. I never got closure and I never gave myself time to heal. Right after that, I got into this 4 year relationship that eventually took this left turn. I can honestly say that I never forgave these men. Is forgiveness a part of closure? Why is it hard to forgive? How do we cope with betrayal? And how do you forgive someone who deeply hurts us? Signed, Anonymous.
Mm.
You had a
Wow.
lot of mms in the midst of that.
This letter is definitely for me, because I was literally just telling Tommy, when I was in the hospital, that I don't think I've ever like really forgiven somebody before. Like I get over it. I get over shit all the time. Like I'll be like, okay. Whenever I
Right, you
break
know how
up,
to let shit go real
I do.
easily. I've been a victim. I've been a victim. I always have the friends who are just that. And I'm like, oh, okay. You don't want to talk? Like, can we talk about it? No? Okay. I'll be
and
here.
I'm working on that.
You have been. You've been doing real well.
I'm working very hard on that because it's emotionally irresponsible. It's very emotionally irresponsible for me to just like fuck it,
Right.
and just like get over it, so because trust, even when I break things off with a guy, I always, and it's psychotic, but I give myself a weekend to get over it. Like I will just spend Friday night, Saturday and Sunday like being sad about it. Like I'll cry or think, and then on Monday I'm back.
And I believe you. But wait, okay. Are these individuals I don't not necessarily a hookup, but we know like in between a hookup and a relationship would be like
A
your dip
situationship.
or situationship. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
Is it like those?
it'd be far and in between.
Okay. Is
It'd
it
be
easy
far and in
for you to
between.
do? What about the people that you love or that you fall in love with? Is it just as like is it still that weekend or do you feel like it's like a weekend and then Monday?
I don't think I question if I've ever like fallen in love with anyone.
Okay.
But like I've definitely gotten close, but it's always a weekend because like it is, and like I said, that's psychotic. It's very psychotic. And I honestly think that I might have dissociative identity disorder. Like that's something that my last therapist told me. He was like, I think that you might have dissociative identity disorder.
Quick breakdown.
Um,
What is that?
you disassociate, like when stuff becomes too much for you,
Yeah.
or if you feel like this is invoking a lot of emotions, you compartmentalize and you go, I'm not going to deal with that, and you like,
And you can just move on, like move
yeah,
forward without any like feeling burdened or anything by
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But like it always comes back, whether it's like months from now, years from now. Like I've been having dreams about stuff lately that happened to me like damn near 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, that happened. Like I'd be remembering shit because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I let it go. But
Now,
anyway,
do you, because, and I feel like that's something that I wrote about this letter is, do you feel like when you cut it off, do you come back to it on purpose to heal from it? Or is it just like you let it go and it brings itself back?
now I've been coming back to things to heal.
Okay.
I can say that through growth and through doing the work. Everyone watching this, you need to do the work. The
For real.
work, though, you need to do the work. Like whatever it is that you're going through, you can't just like let it pass. You can't just like get into another relationship. You can't go get a bottle of Douce and be fine. Like you have to do the work. Like you have to
Yeah.
go back and do the work. But in the past, oh yeah, like I just let that shit go. And then if it comes back up, it comes back up. But as you know, like it will always come back up because that's
Right.
life. It will always come back up.
Which
So
is a step, which it seems like, is there, so maybe either we should speak on, what do you want to speak on now or in the past, how you dealt with things? But I want to know, what is your step process now? Because we know it was before, give it a week. What is your step process now that you've reached this level of growth in processing maybe a breakup or a situationship? How do you, what is that process for you? The weekend, then what? Like, what is that usually for you?
um so yeah, step one is the weekend of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And I do whatever. Like I think the last time I had one of those weekends, I did Molly. I drank a lot, cried like a whole bunch. Like, and then on Monday I go, okay, so what happened? And I look at like I'm a real factual person. Like I'm very analytical,
Yeah.
which is like the reason why people like me, but also the reason why people don't like me. Because because I really will just like sit and like think about things. And so for me, when I first started trying to go down the process of forgiveness, I looked at what is forgiveness.
Hmm.
And I think I'm not a Christian, but I grew up Christian, and the way that forgiveness was presented to me was a one-time thing.
What do you mean?
Like you you proclaim that you are going to forgive someone, or you like forgive, and then everything is supposed to be let go and everything goes back to normal.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the way that it was presented to me.
Yeah.
But through my own research and through my own study of like spiritual texts, um, my own talks with people, like my own experiences, I've realized that like love, forgiveness is a choice.
It is.
And not only is it a choice, it is a reoccurring choice. It is a constant choice. Like that was something that I kind of broke down for myself last summer. Like, what is love? And I'm very weird, and I don't believe that love is an emotion. I don't believe that love is an emotion that humans feel. I
What do
believe
you,
that I believe love is a choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Love is a choice. And I mean, think about it. I think the most pure love that there is the love that a mother has for her child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the main motive, and I thought that love was motive. Like love was before I thought love was like staying with someone just because.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like love is deciding I'm going to stay with you because I love you. You know what I mean? I'm going to make the decision to stay with you. I'm going to make the decision to forgive you. And when I think about love, the first thing I think about is my nanny. Like there have been so many times that I've just been like rude to her or I'm kind of like dismissive, or she'll tell me something and I'm just like, I don't want to hear that shit. And I think about how much she's done for me, and how sometimes my attitude, I feel like if the situation were flipped and if I thought about everything that I had done for my grandchild and they're just like, oh, they don't want to listen to me, I'd be like, man, fuck you. Like I done went through all this to try to help you and you act like you don't want to hear what I have to say sometimes. Like I'd be really pissed. But her love chooses me no matter what.
Yeah.
She chooses me no matter what. Like my nanny chooses me whether I'm in a bad mood. She chooses me even if she's not healthy enough to deal with things. Like she's gonna choose me.
Yeah.
So that I think that's yeah. So that's like step two, like figuring out definitions of things, like my creating my own definition of things. Like forgiveness is the constant choice, just like love is.
Yeah.
Um, and getting back to the letter, it sounds like whoever wrote this is a Christian or a follower of Judeo-Christian beliefs, or
Mm-hmm.
at least like familiar with them. So I'd like if the congregation could turn with me.
You got a scripture?
Yes,
Okay.
to First Corinthians chapter 13. Take out your Bible, Chris. Take out your Bible. Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
I'm going to. Okay. Where are we going?
First Corinthians chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Verse 4.
Okay.
Read that first sentence.
I'm in the King James version.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Charity suffereth long and is kind.
So
Charity.
stop. The translation, the new, I guess like the common tone translation would be love is patient.
Okay.
Patience is not an emotion. Patience is a choice.
Real.
I literally had to text you 2 days ago to receive support so I wouldn't cuss these people out at Pizza Hut.
Right.
Because I was waiting on my food for damn near 45 minutes. They didn't have it. And so my first thing is I'm finna go in there and cuss their manager out. I'm finna go in there and cuss them out because I already went in there first time and they act like they done lost my shit. Now I'm
Right.
sitting here waiting 45 minutes. Like I wanted to cuss them out, but I had to make the decision to not go in there and let the devil use me to spread negativity. I mean, think about it. Yes, like okay, I'm upset about pizza when I don't have no job. Like I don't have nothing to do. I'm finna go right back home. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I'm possibly finna go in here and spread negativity to someone making less than minimum wage for what? So you have to make the decision to be patient. So I think that was like so that brings me to step 3 of forgiveness.
Right.
Research, like looking to literature, because you can't always find answers within yourself. There's always somebody who's went through what you've been through. There's always a source. There's always a reputable source that you can refer to help you out.
Yeah.
Um, So definitely when I looked at that scripture and looked at all the different things that the Bible says that love is, I was like, oh my God, like all of those things are choices. Like it is a choice to be patient. It is a choice to be kind. It is a choice to not keep accounts of wrongs.
Yeah.
It is a choice to not lie, you know. And so that also brings me to Luke 6:29.
Oh, we still in there.
And no, you don't have to bring
Oh
them up because I had
yeah.
these memorized. Luke 6:29 and Matthew 5:39. What's really funny about the prophet Isa, or as y'all call him, Jesus, um, he doesn't often repeat himself. Like he does, like he'll say the same things, but in different ways. But very rarely does he repeat himself.
Mm.
And in these two scriptures, he repeats himself verbatim, almost. He says, if someone hits you on your right cheek, turn to them the left. And the first time I heard that shit, I think I was like 10, maybe, no, I was like 13, 14. And I was like sitting at church. I remember I had my little Bible and I read that and I was like, so Jesus just out here being a simp?
Not a simp.
Like, that's what I thought. I was like, are you telling me that Jesus is just out here letting people hit him? Like, my mama taught me if somebody hit you, you hit their ass back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he says it first in Luke, but then says it again way in Matthew. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, one who, I won't say simple-minded, but somebody who is not on the journey of finding truth would say, oh, he's just repeating himself. But when you really think about it, why would Jesus say that multiple times? Because when you forgive, it's not a one-time thing. It's over and over again.
Hmm.
It is over and over again. It's over and over again, because there will never be a time where somebody you love only hurts you once. That's not a life.
That's real.
That's some movie shit. Everybody that you love is going to hurt you more than once. Because
In the
that's
same
life.
way, or what do you think about that? In the
It's
same
all
way?
it'll
Okay.
I feel like it'll, well, that depends who you're dealing with. But
Right. Because I'm like, I can agree with that, but that I don't know if I would necessarily accept it. Like I can get behind, like, through life we both grow as individuals, so we're gonna face many different challenges, many different obstacles. It's gonna cause you to react certain ways, just like my actions are gonna cause, or whatever, vice versa. And so it's like new situations are come about, and we're gonna have to have conversations about those and how that affected me, because that's never came up before. But like if it's the same thing over and over again, like that's where it's like, okay, I forgave you twice, maybe 3 times, depending on what it is. Like, okay, but like now I'm tired. So do you feel like, although forgiveness is repetitive, should you have a limit on how much you forgive somebody, or like how long that relationship needs to be based on how many times they've hurt you? Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay.
Okay. Ask that question again, but like simpler, because you
I
said a
got it.
lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
You're with a significant other. They continue to hurt you in the same way. Do you continue to forgive them and stay with them? When do you draw the line?
Wouldn't.
Yes, Dylan. When do you draw the line? I mean, I guess when you draw the line is up to you. But like,
it is definitely up to you personally.
But is that like you say, we are gonna have to forgive over and over again? But like, well, I guess I answered my
When do
own
you
question.
draw the line? You draw the line when you realize that person is not concerned with hurting you.
Boom.
That's when you draw the line, because
Yeah.
some of us be out here really hurting you and don't know. Like, I can say there have been very few times in my life where I actually sought out to hurt somebody.
That's real.
Very, very few times. I can probably name them on my hands. And the rest of the times that I've hurt people, it's been totally unintentional.
Yeah.
Like, totally unintentional. Like, I embarrassed them at a party, or I told them that their breath was stinking and they really weren't feeling that. No, for real, I really did get into it with one of my friends before because I told them that their breath was on fire. Um,
Facts. Facts.
you know, but I didn't mean to. I was trying to hurt you. I was trying to help you. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to help
Right.
you. You know, but that's when you draw the line. You draw the line when you realize that person is not concerned with hurting you. You draw the line when you realize, damn, like I think this person is like they benefit from my emotional downfall.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my next point, accountability. Because there were a lot of points in this letter where I felt like the person who wrote it um, was not really taking accountability for the emotional damage that they caused themselves, that they indirectly caused themselves. I don't know who you are, so I'm going to call you friend. Whoever wrote this letter, I'm going to call you friend. Friend.
Now I feel
I
like you're talking
feel.
to me. You be calling me friend.
But I mean, I'm talking to the person who wrote this letter, but I'm also talking to anybody that's willing to listen. So that's why I'm calling you friend. Anybody who this message needs to be spoken to. And I ask Spirit, allow me to be a vessel to whoever needs to hear this. But y'all need to start taking accountability for the things that y'all allow to happen to you. Like when you said that you were ignoring red flags, that's when you start playing yourself. And honestly, it sounds like the first boyfriend you had that abused you and hurt you. I don't know you, whoever you are, but I feel like that was not your first abuser. And that's why it was so easy for you to leave that abusive relationship and get with somebody else. That's just what Spirit is telling me. That first boyfriend that abused you, that was not your first abuser. That was not the first person to hurt you repeatedly. And that's why it was so easy for you to allow that first boyfriend to abuse and hurt you, and why it was so easy for you to allow this now subsequent romantic partner to hurt you. And so with that being said, there seems like there's a lot of emotional trauma, or like emotional I call it filth, like emotional filth, or like emotional lint, you know, like the lint that be in the dryer or whatever, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
emotional lint that like you need to figure out the source of and deal with that.
Yeah.
Because almost always, and it's really weird how romantic relationships will bring out your real problems. Like friend.
Yes. Yes. Facts. That's all facts.
It's weird.
It's all facts. And I feel that so heavily because definitely last relationship, it was like we could work through this stuff, but I'm dealing with like I just realized this relationship brought about shit about my daddy, my mama, myself, my friends, like I was just like dealing with all this stuff and I gotta deal with you. So it's just like and the hurt the people closest to us, so it was just like boom. And I
And
received
it's
the same in
and
return.
and it'd be extra weird because you don't go through shit like that with your friends. Like you don't be
No.
hanging out with your friends and say, "This reminds me of that one time that my daddy left me at the grocery store."
You
Like,
know?
like you don't be with your friends and that happen. It always be when you in a romantic relationship.
Yeah. Facts. All facts.
Like I was the last guy that I was romantically involved with. I don't even remember what the hell he said to me that day. But
That day.
that day, I don't even know what he said to me, but like later that night, we were like cuddling or whatever, and I thought to myself, you know what he said earlier reminds me of the first time I realized my daddy was lying to me.
Damn. Damn.
Like, it just hit me, and I was like, wow, so that's why I am like emotionally addicted to this individual. Like, I know that he is so negative for me, but for whatever reason, there's something in me that is addicted to reliving that trauma. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's that. Romantic relationships will bring out some weird shit, but you have to be accountable for that.
Yes. You
Like,
do.
you can't just like let it slide. You can't randomly realize that you have abandonment issues and then say, "Oh well, I'll get over it," because you
No.
won't.
You know, a couple points that I had was apologetic language. I didn't learn about apologetic language until after my relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but realizing how I need apologies for
Mm-hmm.
myself. And mine is accept responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so that also comes with action and on both parts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to realize just people make a lot, like friends, family, whoever, make a lot of comments about things that I do wrong or like how I should work on myself, and that's not a problem at all. But
Mm-hmm.
I've learned now, one, I take things with a grain of salt, but I also try to process it. If somebody says, Tommy, you're like this, I'm like, I try to be like, okay, how, like, I can kind of see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see, like, I get a lot, I'm judgmental. I,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to be that. It's more so meant as a, in my mind, I'm being this way to you because I expect more, or I believe that you can hold yourself to a better standard.
It's caring.
Right. And the basis of like, it's also what that individual has told me they want for themselves.
Right.
So if you tell me that, then I'm going to hold you to that standard. And when you're falling
100%.
short of that, I'm not going to be the one to just like kind of be like, oh, well, you know, I don't know.
If I care about you,
If I care. If I don't care, do what you want to do.
you can do whatever you want to do.
But I had to realize, though, also is that my approach can also be very,
There's a way.
yeah, my approach can be very fucked up sometimes because in my mind, I'm like, this is me caring. But the Capricorn in me is just like, facts. Here you go. Here's
Yep.
facts. And like, you need to just fucking fix it. And I
That's
have
a
to
that's a
realize.
oh my gosh, that's my nanny, and I think that's why we be butting heads, because she's her intentions be so pure and so positive. Like, she's really coming from a place of like, I'm actually caring about you. But then she'll say some shit like, I mean, you just look like a rag doll. And you'd be like, what the fuck? You know, and that'll piss you off. But what she really was trying to say is, you're getting ready to go on a date. Like, maybe you should look.
Right. Maybe you just spruce it up a little bit. Whatever. Like, okay, but could you have said it
Yeah.
a little better?
And I notice I be doing this shit. I know I be doing this shit because I'm very blunt and I'm working on that.
Right. Right. So another thing I had was like my steps for sure of like processing a situation, and what I noticed in this letter as well is like some highlights was I never got closure from the last relationship. Um, it was the relationship that there was not always pleasant, but
Mm-hmm.
we feel like being in each other's lives as friends is better than us not being together at all. Um, I couldn't help but be real with myself because I know I could have been a better girlfriend to them and maybe they wouldn't cheat on me. And it's just like all of these things seem like self things. Like these are things that you can't do with somebody else, especially in a situation where like staying with this person who has hurt you so badly,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason for us to be friends right now. And I'm not saying
Literally.
that you can't become friends again. And this is where I kind of bind the love language of accepting
Mm-hmm.
responsibility with action. Is like I actually believe that many people can get back with their exes. I think that you could get back with your ex. Look at you, looked at me like, nigga.
I'm sorry.
You looked at me cold. She looked at me like, the fuck?
Oh my God. I think somebody told me, my uncle told me last Christmas, like, I hadn't said nothing. Like, my auntie was talking, and I thought I was just, right? And
Yeah.
he goes, Mimi, I need you to start screaming with your face.
You do me though. You do. You got me hot. That was funny. But I believe that you can. But the reason I say that, and the only way that I believe that it could actually work and be beneficial for the both of you, is if you take the time apart from each other and not working on yourself for the future possibility of being with that person, but like, I'm taking this time to myself for me. Like, when this
Yes.
person says like, I could have been a better girlfriend and maybe he wouldn't have cheated on me. First of all, that's bullshit.
That's
It
bullshit. If
doesn't
somebody's
matter
gonna
how
cheat on you, they
somebody.
gonna Jay-Z cheat on Beyonce, girl.
Period.
How
It
can
don't.
somebody ugly that really piss a person? I'm sorry.
She got hot again. She got hot again. But facts though, like
No,
nobody. Cheating is a choice, and I can say that as somebody who has cheated.
me too.
Cheating is a choice. Cheating
Every
is a
guy that I
choice.
have been with, I have cheated on them.
Cheating is a choice.
I realized that last week. Every guy that I have been with, every and it's weird because that's another thing I realized. I play victim a lot, and I was like thinking to myself like, damn, ain't no nigga ever treated me right, and and I was like, I'm pretty sure the last guy was with cheated on me, and then it felt like the Holy Spirit spoke to me right then and there. Because at that moment, I realized that while me and the last guy were together, I went on 2 dates with 2 other people.
That's real.
And I completely forgot.
So you were emotionally cheating, even if it wasn't physically cheating, it was still cheating because it was emotional.
Yes.
Dylan said, but she said she cheated too. I think from the letter, she cheated after some other situations had happened.
It
So
was revenge cheating.
Yeah, she was revenge cheating. But it's just like, if this becomes a revenge thing and this is how this relationship is, that alone is toxic.
There is no friendship.
And I know that the word toxic it is very much.
But that's the word, honey. And the reason why it came to you, the reason why you even wrote that in your letter, the reason why you even said, I know that some people may say it's toxic, is because you know it's toxic. A hit dog will holler.
That's real.
Friend, whoever wrote this letter, I'm telling you right now.
Hold
you
on.
said
My cousin said maybe she cheated before she found out. I mean, that
even before she found out, she knew. Everybody has that moment where you know before you know. You know what I mean? Like you have that feeling of like, I feel like this is happening before it actually comes to the light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. So, I mean, all of these things, like, again, it seems like self things. And like, if it is with yourself, again, if y'all want to get together, that's cool. But like, nowhere in this letter does it really seem like there's space. Like real space was taken.
There's no space. Okay, Tommy. Now that this is all over with and it's been a year and like you've healed, I feel like I can say this now.
No! This wasn't planned. Wait, because I'm about to get red on the live.
Hold on, y'all. It's red time. I gotta. This is me and Tommy's French.
The belt is stuck, girl. Hold on. All right, I'm strapped in, girl.
Look.
All right, I'm ready.
Now that it's over, okay, that's my preface. But when you and what's the name had first like had broke up, and you was like,
"Oh, hold on. We got 2 minutes left. So
we've been on here an hour.
Yeah. So let's end it, and then we'll restart.
Okay.
Okay.
Part two.
Okay.
And we back, and we back, and
All
we
right.
back, and we back.
Well, I want to know now. Look, I'm over here. I'm like, what is it? What are you about
Okay.
to say?
So when you and what's the name had first broke up, I think y'all went like, it was very short. It was like a week or two that y'all went without speaking. That first time that y'all had broke up.
Okay.
And then we were talking and you were like, I think I'm gonna reach out to such and such. And I was like, why would you do that? And you were like, I think it's been long enough. And I said, for you or for both of y'all? And you were like, I think for us both. And I said, well, haven't you... And I was shook. I was like,
being friends with Tommy.
yeah.
Not for both of us.
I was shook. I was like,
sounds like Tommy.
Like, yeah, I was so, Monty, that's, if you friends with T, you know. And I was like, I was shook. I was like, what is it? And then I thought, and then, you know me, like, I'm a diehard friend. I am a diehard friend. If anybody knows this, Tommy knows it, because I have done some real crazy shit about Tommy. I have done...
Oh my God, I'm crying.
I have said and done some real crazy shit about Tommy, because that's my friend. You not him, okay? And I justify things when I love people. Like, one of my like really close friends can do something real crazy, and in my mind I go, no, they're just doing this because like, no, they have a plan. But now looking back on it, that was really toxic. And
very.
And like, it's essential to take a break, y'all. Like, it is very, once you and an individual has gone through so much, you have to take a break.
Right.
And there is no like definite time.
No.
But
you know the time that I was just talking to one of my other friends about this. I said the time I knew that like I was in a better place with the breakup, because we obviously had two like real breakups. The first was like 5 months, and then this one has been almost a year. Was honestly this quarantine, where I was just, obviously we have so much time to spend to ourselves, and I realized like I was no longer mad at the other individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that most of the time, it wasn't really me being mad at the other individual, but so much that I was like blaming myself and being like, well, you did this, you did that. It almost was like I forgot everything that they did.
Mm-hmm. And only focused on yourself.
On myself. And I was beating myself up so much. And not that you should just like solely beat up on the other person either. Mm-hmm. But like, it was when I had finally realized that like, I said to myself, we were not mature enough to handle a relationship. And it had nothing to do with like him doing anything maliciously to me. And it had nothing to do with me doing anything maliciously to him. And in the moment, in the heat of it all, it feels that way. And in a lot of relationships, that is the case. Like, people do things maliciously to their partner. But in this case, I really feel like we were just immature. And we just weren't ready. We weren't ready to handle what a relationship took.
100%.
But I had to do the work for myself. We needed that break, and it had to be me stop focusing so much on, I had to stop focusing so much on, let me heal so that maybe we can get back together. Let me heal so that I can show him that I'm better. And like,
because whoever wrote this letter, I was really getting that vibe. Like, I was really getting the vibe that like, hold on, sorry, I got a notification about a doctor's appointment I have. But I was getting that vibe that whoever like wrote this friend who wrote this letter,
Mhm.
I think the main reason why you are staying in contact with your ex is because you you feel like there's still hope for y'all to get back together. Like you feel like there's still something there.
Right.
And
Right.
I mean, and I don't know you, and of course I don't know your partner, so like I can't tell you whether or not there is something there, like for certain. Um, but the work has not been done in order
No.
for this relationship to really like
No.
like progress, or really not even progress, like to begin again.
Right. And us not, we don't even know the full extent of the relationship. We're just going based on this letter. And
Hmm.
it just time wise. And if you've been hurt as deeply as the letter says, for us to
Yeah.
have broken up 2 years after the situation happened, but yet we're still communicating, and the person still says like it's not pleasant, like their friendship isn't pleasant, but we'd rather be friends than nothing at all. And it's
And
like,
honey,
but
I'm gonna
are
tell
y'all
you
even
right now,
friends?
whoever you are, that's not a friendship.
It's not a friendship.
That's a bond. There's a difference between a bond and a friendship. A bond, um, if you don't ever took chemistry,
No.
if the person has ever took chemistry, you would know that a bond is something as simple as H2O. That something as simple as that. It is, and I'm wrong because I'm not no science person, but isn't H2O just like hydrogen and it's
Ox-
one molecule of hydrogen and two of peroxide, right? Or no, of
oxygen.
oxygen. Oxygen. You know what I'm saying? Hydrogen and oxygen. Um, but they just together. Yes, like water is amazing, but like the bonds are just together and can be easily taken away.
Yeah.
But a friendship, much so like love, is a constant choice.
Hmm. Yes,
It
100%.
is it is a constant it is a constant flow of choices. Y'all have a bond because y'all were together for 4 years.
Right.
But do y'all have a friendship? No. Friends don't cheat on each other. Friends don't friends don't lie to each other. Because in order to cheat, you gotta lie. In order to cheat, you have to emotionally abuse somebody. Friends don't
Yeah.
emotionally abuse each other.
And when they do, there's a conversation. They when they do, there's a conversation about it, and there has to be shown growth.
Yep.
Because I'm not gonna be your friend if you continue to like beat me down. If it
Mm-hmm.
continues to be this back and forth and shit, I'd rather let it go. Especially if I vocalize that you have been hurting me. Well, let's put this down. Like clearly you
Mm-hmm.
don't care. Like I think you said earlier, you don't care enough.
You
Like
don't.
if somebody if you care enough, then you're gonna make the active decision to make sure that you're not constantly doing that again.
Right. And this also, this brings me to my next point with forgiving yourself. In order to forgive yourself, you have to love yourself.
That's
And
facts.
someone that allows an individual to emotionally abuse over and over again, to cheat on them and disturb them in the way that they claim that they have been disturbed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you don't love yourself enough to know that you don't deserve that.
Right.
And
100%.
that's why I said earlier that I feel like that first abusive boyfriend that this individual had, that was not her first abuser.
That's real.
That was not your first abuser. There was somebody else abusing you way before that that made you believe that you deserve to be with individuals that emotionally feed off of you.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
So I think exactly what you say about you need to start. You need to love yourself. You have to start loving yourself more because that's where the real work begins, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where it doesn't. Again, as somebody who says you could probably get back with your ex. I think that the only way that that would even be possible is if you both have done the work. Because I can say from experience, when we tried to get back together again, oh boy, was when I realized I had, and I don't want to dismiss this person. I mean, they're not watching. I still don't want to dismiss this person's work or the growth that they did. But like when we got back together, I had done so much work on myself. I mean, as you know, and I think I've said it in the other line, I hadn't had sex with anybody, like doing those breakups. I did nothing. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't distracting myself with anything. My process was very much detached, but also let me figure out what it is about Tommy that's fucked up.
Right.
How is Tommy
hey,
fucked up?
Vet.
Hey, Vet.
Sorry.
But that was the most, like, in that process, I had to do a lot of work. Like, in my phone, I have a note section that has, like, 30 notes to myself about, like, how me and all this shit that's going on with me and all this shit, all this stuff about Tommy and how Tommy needs to work on Tommy. And that's when it would be like, I would almost need that from the other person, my ex, to be like, where are your notes? Let's compare notes on how we're going to go into this shit differently for ourselves. Like, how have I changed?
And it's so funny. It's so funny that we're doing this letter on today. That is such bad English. To everyone, do never say on today. Never say on today. Never say on tomorrow. It is today or tomorrow. Don't say that. Sorry, I had to tell y'all. But what she's? Oh, sorry. I thought this.
No, my cousin's on the phone.
No, but like I actually had an ex message me today. After what was it, like 6 or 7 months without us speaking, and our last conversation was not productive. It was not constructive. It was not a conversation. Let's be.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you though.
No, that's fine. But it was not a conversation, you know. But he hits me up and like apologizes for the way that he acted, for the things that he said. And I think the verbiage that kind of rubbed me the wrong way after he apologized, he says, anyways, hold on, them headphones. Hold on, them headphones. Ooh, the feet. Ooh. I can't. I'm crying. Oh Lord. This quarantine got us all down bad. Down bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wish show y'all mine, but I can't feel like that. I can't. I can't be put in that position. I might need my inhaler. Oh my god.
I'm so embarrassed. Oh my god.
And I should have
Oh,
been quiet. Why did I
oh,
say that?
oh my god.
I should have just let you live. Why did I do that?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, uh,
Oh my gosh.
uh,
I'm hot. I'm literally sweating right now. I hate you.
girl,
I hate you. What was we even talking about? That threw me off. It threw me off. Jazzy Jazz, you are right, baby girl. I got a unibrow.
no.
When they went and did my surgery, I told them, I said, I'm sorry, I haven't shaved in 6 months.
Oh, girl, them things look like eagle talons.
Turtle claws. Turtle claws.
I'm gonna make a live. I'm gonna make a video just when I go to the shop, just to show you.
Somebody had posted on Facebook, they said, I can't wait to hear baby pick your color. I almost started crying when I read that.
Oh my gosh! I'm glad that was funny.
I'm sweating. I'm literally
I'm
sweating
sweating
from
too.
that. That was crazy, Tommy. Oh my gosh. It always happens with us.
It does.
Something like that always happens.
Oh my god.
No, but that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about my ex. You know, the verbiage that really bothered me was when he said anyways, comma, and proceeded to talk about something else.
Yeah.
Like as if everything he said to me what was this now? Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
We done been done. But like almost as if everything that he said to me, the way that he wrote me off, the way he contacted me 2 months after we broke up, after we could have sex again, like none of that happened.
Yeah.
You know? And so for me, even though like I could never see us getting back together, and I don't think I will, in order for us to like even be able to talk now, you know, I told him, because he ended up asking me on a date today. He was like, when they open up the movies again, can we go? And my response was, there was a friendship that was broken. There was a friendship that was betrayed.
Yeah.
And so in order for us to even like chill the way that we did before, like we have to establish a friendship again.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and so, but that comes with loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because after I dealt with, I'm gonna call him A, and I got with B, which was a different person that I was dating in October, something similar happened, like not as dramatic, not as big, but like B and I hadn't spoken for like 2 weeks. And then he messaged me and was like, I miss you so much. Like, I'm sorry for everything that happened. Can I take you out tonight? And so me with my disturbed ass, I felt like that's enough. That's all he has to do is like apologize and hold himself accountable for what he did and spend some money on me.
Right.
Like that's it. Just because somebody says out their mouth that they're sorry doesn't necessarily mean that they are.
Right.
They have to show that.
Yes,
And
actually.
they have to show that they've been doing just as much work as you have, if not even more.
Yeah.
But having that standard, like demanding that, comes with loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
100%.
so
100%.
yeah, I can say that was another issue that the person who wrote this letter is having. is not being able to forgive themselves.
Yeah. And right, and just to answer their questions a little more directly, like, I feel like when it says, how do we forgive someone? How do we cope with betrayal? Is forgiveness a part of closure and stuff like that? Ultimately, it comes down to, like you said, forgiveness is a constant choice. So if you're gonna remain in a relationship with said person, you have to be very aware that they might do things that are gonna trigger you. Triggering is gonna definitely be a possibility, and that needs to be a conversation that y'all can have openly and honestly. To be like, hey, this triggered me. Like, this is why, and y'all can discuss that so that it doesn't. And because if you can't speak on those things, then it becomes anger, fear, resentment, all these different things. So it's like, honestly, I feel like if you're going to accept somebody like that back into your life, the idea was presented to me by a friend. Draw the Venn diagram or pros and cons, and like, what is it, especially in this where you're saying it's not even pleasant all the time with this person you're being friends with. What are the pros?
And that brings me to my final point, ladies and gentlemen. Emotional addiction.
What is and what is, like, I think I can kind of put that together, but like, what do you mean by that?
Emotional addiction is a newer psychiatric phenomenon, or like study, or if you want to call it like realization, that people who have experienced certain traumas in their life in a way like to revisit or relive that trauma, and they don't even you don't even realize it, you know what I'm saying, because it's so familiar. That's why you're really addicted to it, because it's so familiar. If you grew up abused by your father, and his love language to you was, you're either first or you're last.
Come on, Ricky.
You're either first or you're last. Then you have a tendency to want to be with people that give you ultimatums. Because that validation that you receive from your parents is like, I'm either winning or I'm losing. So that was like, that's how you learn love, was like, you're either winning or you're losing.
Yeah.
Then you will become emotionally addicted to the feeling of meeting ultimatums.
Yeah.
And that's very deep. Like, that takes somebody who is really trying to do the work to like go through. And I think that started with me when I was like thinking one day, and I was like, a lot of the people that I involved myself with emotionally, made the decision to involve myself emotionally with, reminded me somewhat of my father. Like, they all do. Whether it was their sense of humor, how they're kind of like emotionally detached, and in some cases, like even their features, kind of just like reminded me of my father. And so I started kind of trying to figure out, like, as a person who grew, like they all do, whether it was their sense of humor, how they're kind of like emotionally detached, and in some cases, like even their features, kind of just like reminded me of my father. And so I started kind of trying to figure out, like, as a person who grew up like kind of like in a love-hate relationship with my dad, why do I keep picking people that remind me of him? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know that overall, like, my dad wasn't a good person and he wasn't a good father, then why do I, but like, where is that coming from?
Yeah.
And so that's where I started realizing, like, what emotional addiction is. I actually found it out from like they're a therapist, but they have like a Instagram account. I think they're called the psychic therapist or something like that. I'll have to like find their handle and like send it to you and you can
Yeah.
post it. But they posted about emotional addiction and I was like, what the hell is this? And I ended up like reading about it and was like, wow. And it just sounds like the person who wrote this letter is addicted to pain and addicted to like rejection, addicted to feeling like you need to earn somebody's love like constantly. I'm just saying for me, and I think this is why I have never been in a long-term relationship because I start smelling myself and I be feeling like, what the fuck I gotta try for it? I'm here.
I'm here. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Cause to me, as a person who is like not committal at all, um I'm if it is it's so sad to say, but I realize this, like I would be with one man and be thinking about the next one that I'm gonna be with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be like, okay, if this doesn't work out,
I get that. Yeah.
I got such and such number. You know what I mean? Um, where was I going with that? Sorry. But dang, what was I finna say? Sorry.
You were saying, damn, now I done lost my train of thought.
Damn. What was I saying? It's too hot.
It is
No,
hot.
being being addicted to emotional pain. But like,
Oh, you said
if you,
you were feeling yourself at one, like you be feeling yourself and everything,
yeah, and
and
then I feel
then
like I
that's
don't
when you're
have to
like, what do I need to
try.
try for? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't have to try, and like I'll leave in a second. Like I'll leave. Like I will not make the effort to try to fix a relationship
Yeah.
if I feel like whatever, like I'll leave, you know, because I have worked on not staying in the situation or staying friends with somebody just because. You
Yeah.
know, I think that I'm so afraid of emotional addiction. Like I'm so afraid of getting caught in a relationship with somebody that's abusing me because it's just so unattractive. It's so hurtful and it's so scary that I will just like jump ship, you know.
Yeah.
But for people who are very much so emotionally addicted to pain or emotionally addicted to like rejection and shit, you you sincerely have to like address that and ask yourself, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. Also, okay, because I'm looking at like the questions that the person asked specifically, just trying to make sure that we answered them.
Mm-hmm.
Is forgiveness a part of closure? Real quick. Y'all don't always need closure.
Period.
Closure isn't always good. Closure can at times create breeding grounds for bullshit.
That's
That's
it.
just what do you say? Check it out west.
That is grounds.
Check it out west.
Breeding
That's
grounds for bullshit. That's
closure
real.
creates breeding grounds for bullshit. Closure leaves a crack in a door that should be closed.
Hmm. That's real. I never thought about that.
It does. I mean, if somebody hurts you and you know it was intentional or you know that like that person didn't even make an effort to think about you. And just like you said, like it's a reoccurring thing. Like this person is consistently um what's the oh my god, sometimes words
Same.
fail me. But this person is consistently inconsiderate. Why would you want to reach back out to that person and talk when
Yeah.
you know that they're not going to listen? And
Right.
that brings us back to you are emotionally addicted. Half of y'all who be wanting to get closure and talk to somebody who done really hurt you and betrayed you, you are dealing with an emotional addiction. You love you love feeling pain. You love feeling like you have to prove something to this individual, and that's why you can't leave them alone.
Yeah. Facts. That's real.
So that's that. I just to whoever wrote this letter, I think you should leave their ass alone. I think.
Period.
I
Period.
think.
Or give it
And you
time. Or give
and
it
you
time.
give it
Give it
time, and you
real time. Real time.
real time, and seriously work on yourself. So, friend, hold yourself emotionally accountable. Understand that forgiveness is a reoccurring choice. There is no how do we cope with betrayal over and over again.
I don't know if I'm
Over and
dealing
over
with it over and
again.
over. I don't know if I'm dealing with the same one over and over again. Not a, I can't deal with the same one. Like we've talked about it. We've talked about it again, and we're talking about it again. I'm tired.
Well, no, I'm not saying like cope with betrayal with the individual.
Oh, okay.
You have to cope
For
with that shit by
yourself.
yourself.
Gotcha.
Every time
Yeah.
it comes up, like every time you find yourself getting pissed about it, you have to go through that forgiveness
Yeah,
process again.
for sure.
It's over and over again because that's how the devil works. The devil never uses any new tricks. This is just me personally. I feel like the negative forces of the universe within your first 10 years of life finds out what are your deepest vulnerabilities. What are the things that hurt you the most? And for the rest of your life until you die, you battle those over and over again.
Yeah, that's real. I feel like I face the same shit, just different faces. And
Yes.
and it's just God being like, so, did you learn the last time how to deal with this? Did you figure? Okay, all
Did
right.
you refer to your did you refer to your study guide from the last
You know,
class?
like how you gonna do with that? You're right. And I saw actually a post on Instagram. Somebody posted where it was like your your relationships or like the different relationships that you're in are like based on the stages in which you're in. And like that's
Yes.
usually what you're gonna be met with. So like if you're in the midst of like this insecurity or whatever, like you're gonna be in a relationship that is probably gonna test that. If
Literally a reflection of that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like very interesting. Like the more you level up, so and I think that's a major kind of like answer to all of this, and like in
Mm-hmm.
relationships in general, is like once you have met that mark for yourself, or the
Mm-hmm.
for I know for me, God, what the level that He wants me to operate at. When I reach that level, that's honestly that's when I want a partner. Like when I feel 100% fulfilled, like I know right now I want to be in a relationship because I'm alone, or like there's moments where I'm
And
alone.
relationships are fucking cool. Come
Right.
on
There,
now. They're
there's that
fucking
person.
cool.
It's good to have somebody here to be with by your side, the physical aspect of all of
Later.
all that. I want some quarantine cutty. But like at the
Okay.
same time, like as much as I want that, I know that like I don't want that until I'm ready for
Mm-hmm.
that. I want that. I want somebody that meets me at that same level so that we can operate in this realm and not
Right.
like fluctuating in between or like living at the bottom. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be with that person when I'm at my best self. Because I mean, we continue to grow, but like when I feel very secure in me, and when
Right.
tests start coming, and I feel like I'm knocking them down.
Right. Or my ability to knock them down is much better. Or
Yes,
like my approach.
yes, yeah.
My approach. And I,
Uh-huh.
I think personally, something that I thank Allah the most for is it seems like every time I get into like a little situation shift, they get better and better.
Really?
Like every guy that I get with is like better than the next one. It's like, okay, such and such sucked at communication, but at least he wasn't controlling like such and such.
Right,
It's like
right.
each time. And
Like
so it
okay,
kind of
making
makes
growth.
yeah. And so I feel like each time it like motivates me because I feel like if my partners are getting better, then that means that I'm getting better.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So to this person, like you will not get better. You will not get better until you address the issues, forgive yourself, And go to emotional rehab.
Emotional rehab. Don't hide from it.
I'm in emotional rehab right now. I ain't had no booty in 8 months.
Ah, ah, I'm
8 months.
But for real.
For real, because the last person I was with, I was like, I gotta reevaluate.
Right, for real.
Like, I have to seriously reevaluate and learn a lot more communication skills. Learn,
And that's what that
I
time
become
away. That I mean, that's honestly that's the best part about being single. Is like I can build myself. I can fuck up. I can mess up.
mm-hmm.
I know I'm not responsible for anybody else's feelings. Like I
Yeah,
can still go through this growth process of like learning, failing, and being able to like not hurt somebody else in the process. And that's what
100%.
my last relationship was me trying to grow and learn, but I was failing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean that's a part of life. As you grow, you're gonna hit some bumps. You're gonna fail,
Mm-hmm.
and the hardest part is when you're doing that with someone else,
With
and
somebody else and
somebody
hurting
else's
them.
feelings are at stake as well. That's the hardest part. So definitely taking that time apart and focusing that energy on how to better yourself, not distracting yourself with bullshit, not
Mm-hmm.
drinking or getting high when you feel something and you want to shut it down.
Feel it. Oh my
Like,
gosh, feel it.
allow yourself to feel it and move forward. Like those are the times where and in those midst of moments, like writing, journaling, whatever it is that you're thinking, shit, if you want to start working out, like do
Go
that. Like,
running.
yeah, whatever it is that's gonna be positive for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go in everybody because you
Don't
might
self
want
familiarate. And do not jump into another relationship, friend. Whoever you
to.
are, come on now. How the hell?
No. Well,
Don't do that.
I'm love that we had this. I'm so glad that you took the time out to do the live. I love this. Is
Of
so,
course.
I'm mad I showed my eagle claws. I think I'm gonna have to post that as one of the. I have to. I gotta do it. That I'm gonna put like maybe 2 or 3 clips of this, but that has to be one of them. That has to be one of them because I definitely burnt myself.
And the fact I should have just shut up. Why did I say something?
But I couldn't. The funniest part was I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you, and I don't know if you could hear me. But
I
all I
couldn't.
know is I saw the video, and I was like,
I'm sorry.
well, I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm so
I love
glad you
you
came
more.
on, and I hope that everything goes better with your health. I'll be praying. I hope that everybody on the live. I'm gonna leave this up. So if you're watching this, please pray for Milan for quick, speedy health recovery and all that good stuff.
I love y'all, and I love you
I
so
love
much. No matter what we go through, this y'all. This relationship right here
you.
is a representation of what forgiveness means.
This is true
It is a
on both
constant.
sides. Definitely, we have. Yes, it's been a journey.
It
It
is
has
a
been a journey.
constant. Because
But
people, man, we was in school. People say, "So you talking right now, or?"